Hello everybody and welcome back to our full simulation multi-glory career mode with Portsmouth FC. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode numero 3, I don't know, number 3 basically. We are starting off season 2. Last season we have easily won the league and therefore we are now in a League 1 in the 3rd League of England. My goal at the start of the season, quite simply, was just mid-table place, I guess. Because, I mean, we are just new to promote. Of course we have a good team, but we still have to make a lot of changes. And I don't really expect us to be consistent enough to fight for even the playoffs. I think these mid-table plays have nothing to do with the relegation zone. Would be perfectly fine for me. And then next season, just change the team in a few positions, 1, 2. I told you left back and CDM is the most important things, the two things I'm really looking at this transfer window. I'm trying to get a new left back and a new CDM, new first choices, and of course the current first choice would be our second choices, therefore also that would improve our second choice team, and our current second choices would be sold. And then of course, if I still have money, I would maybe look for somebody. Chaplin said he wants to leave, so we have to see if he maybe really wants to leave or if he is happy to stay. We have to see what happens. But the main thing was basically just improve the team a bit, get a mid-table place, next season improve the team even more, and then get promoted. And I started of course this season by just looking through a few things, the league table, to just see what teams are in this league. Is there any team I know was in the championship in the start of this career mode and did get relegated or whatever? Who are the biggest teams and who are the worst teams? And just look around, and then also just of course looked upon a bit on the objectives, and then I saw this. I mean, domestic success, low priority, it's not too important, but the goal from the board is to win the league. Last season already I thought win the league, I mean okay, it's kind of realistic, Portsmouth should get promoted, but win the league is a high goal, not even just say, just get promoted or get second, not playoffs, but really just get directly promoted. No, they said win the league. And this season, they wanted me to win the league again. I thought, okay, I cannot do that. I'm trying to get a mid-table place. That is my goal, mid-table place. The minimum goal is avoid relegation. And they tell me to freaking win the league. But alright guys, let's start off this season. Of course, first of all, we are choosing the preseason tournament. And of course, I think it's quite easy to understand that I did choose the left one. Didn't care about the team's most money. Of course, I go for that one. Next thing that happened one day later, of course, is that all the players who were out on loan did return. And 2 of them straight away went on the transfer list. And this was the transfer and loan list in the start of the season. Only 2 players I really wanted to sell. 1 player, Wilson, of course, I wanted to loan out. Not too much I was really looking for. But of course, I also wanted to then sell the players, of course, as soon as I get the left back in the CDM. Wanted to then sell the left back who is currently my second choice team as well as the CDM. Our team, Düsseldorf, La Spezia, Rangers. Very good teams. I mean, Rangers is quite a decent team. Düsseldorf is alright, but better than us. La Spezia is kind of on our level, so I would say we are the 3rd best team. It should not be too easy to go through. Last season, of course, we have not even made it into anything the first time that happened. But this time, guys, we start off with a nice 2-0 win. Paslak seems to continue scoring goals. 2 goals already in the first game again. He just scores and scores and scores. But I mean, that was the weakest team. The strongest team in our group, definitely Rangers. And boom, we did lose. They were down to 10 men for a huge amount of time, but they still managed to win the game against us. We have to win against Düsseldorf, otherwise for the 2nd time already, again, we would not even make it through the group stage. And Düsseldorf is a team that is better than us. So I didn't expect us to win this. I expected a draw, but an easy 3-0 win. Wow. Paslak, again a goal. And so we got the first part of the prize money, 680k. In the semi-finals we played against old friends, Aalborg PK. I'm doing it Aalborg PK career mode in case you don't know. So of course most of these players we know, Larsen, Christensen, Petersen, Holgersen, we know all these players. And it was really interesting to see for me if they changed anything, if they sold or especially signed anybody. But there's nobody I don't know, so I don't see anybody in the first choice team or on the bench that has not played in the start of season 1 already for them. We did take the lead, they with Passau of course, they got the equalizer and we won in penalties. Wow, but alright, we are through to the finals, getting again a bit of prize money, a bit more than 1 million, so we are total around 1.75 million now. Before we go in the final, we now have to talk about a few transfers. First of all, Curtis main player I just really don't need, put on the transfer list, got an offer, a very good offer, to be honest. Would have sold him below his value, but hey, perfectly fine. Just accepted this, and of course he got sold. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will make the first signing. And I have been looking around for CDMs, and there were only two that were really interesting and affordable. Ronaldo Vieira, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and a player I've actually never heard about, Philip Billing, who is playing for Roma. Both good weighted. Philip Billing, we know that he's 6'9" weighted, he's 21, quite a lot older than Vieira. Vieira has better potential. I've been looking, and to be honest, Vieira is 3 years younger, and he has a better potential, and it just made more sense because he's also playing in England. It would be more realistic, I think. So he was definitely a player I wanted to sign. He was quite a decent amount more expensive, but he was, and he became, the first transfer of Season 2. 2.4 million and 12,000 as wage, which is really not too high for a very good player. And as you can see, we still have a very big amount in our transfer budget, so we still have definitely enough money to make a very good left back signing. But Ronaldo Vieira with a 70 rating, a lot of queen stats, a lot of mid 70 to high 70 stats. Mental stats could go a bit better, defending skills have to be trained. But he is a very, very good player, and of course straight into our first choice team. I'm very happy with that signing. And of course Manning, I need him as second choice. So Doyle, who has been the captain in the first episodes in the first half of Season 1, he basically is just not needed anymore. And that's why I did put him, it's the only thing I really thought would make sense, on the transfer list. Value at that, just remember, try to remember, his value at that point, 3.9 thousand. His wage is quite big, so that's why I really wanted to sell him, because of his wage. But remember this value, 3.9 thousand. But now we can go into the final of the preseason tournament with, of course, Vieira as our number 6. Unfortunately, we did lose. Chaplin did score, we did take the lead, but 2 goals for them. Praslak missing penalty and an injury. We did lose, so no more prize money for us. And the injury for Clark, thank God though, was not too hard, only 3 days. And here we go, guys, the second big decision, left back. And there were 3 left backs. I've been looking for a lot of left backs. I had like 3 CDMs on my shortlist, but like 10 left backs. And there were 3 interesting ones with a good rating, affordable, wages are decent enough, and big potential. Rivera was the first one I decided to not go for, just because the other 2 both are playing in England. Both are more interesting. I know Rigonri, I love this dude a lot. I had him so often. I had him last, I think in 2 career modes last game, and I really wanted to sign him again this time, but it was always too expensive, or he recently joined, and so I already signed another one. But I really thought I would go for him. But the Slashtaq dude, I really have compared them, and I mean, I really wanted to tell myself basically, go for Henry. But something my head just said, Slashtaq is younger, he has bigger potential. I just have to go for him, and he is also a lot cheaper, just 1.2 million. Henry would have been 2, and the Basel left back would have been 2.2. So guys, Ryan Sessegnon, I have to put this, I have something in my head that makes a weird noise. My head, what the fuck, my hand. Oh yeah, Ryan Sessegnon became the second big signing, 1.2 million, wage of 9k, 67 weight and the age of 17. Sessegnon is gonna be our left back. Because of this, of course, Hornstop not needed anymore, put him on the transfer list, got an offer, decent enough for sure, from Derry City, and he also got sold. And just a few days after that, we also got an offer for O'Brien, the other player on the transfer list, basically the only player who's still on my transfer list, except of Doyle. And again, a very good offer, and so we accepted it and got sold. He got sold, of course, that's what I want to say. Now, we have done the CDM and the left back signing. We have basically put a lot of players on the transfer list, sold most of the players, but we still had a decent amount of money. So I've been looking at my first and second choice team, as you can see, the update first second choice team, and been looking around and what would be the position I would sign somebody. And the thing I recognized is that in my first choice team, our right winger, Naismith. He is not the greatest player. In Season 1 he has really not played too good. Bennett has played a lot better than him. He has not played amazing. He can of course play as right mid, and he is left footed, but he's not that amazing and has no potential really, so he's probably one of the weakest links. If we look at our second choice team, Praslak currently in our second choice team, the right back, right mid, because Baker, normally the second choice there, is injured. And even if he's not injured, he has not really the greatest stats and is already 34. So I've seen that our current right wing in the first choice team is one of the weakest players, and in the second choice team I currently don't really have a backup, and when Baker's back, our backup is very old and really not the greatest. So I have made a decision that a right winger is gonna be the third signing I will do if, of course, Chaplin is not going to leave. I would look for a right winger. We still had a decent amount of money in our budget for sure, and yeah, I've been scouting for a right winger, and yeah, that's basically the third transfer I've been thinking about doing. If I could not do it, I would just sign a youth scout. Just a few days later, as you can see, Carl Baker came back from his injury. Alright, that's the transfers for now. Let's look into the games in August. We start off with a game against Port Vale, then Northampton in the Cup, Barnsley, Oxford United, Burton Albion and Crawley Townville League. These are the games in August. We're starting off with one of the easiest games. Of course, we're playing away, but Port Vale is definitely one of the weakest teams in this league. But they start off with a loss. Very disappointing. 4 minutes before then, Taylor with a penalty. Very disappointing loss. And at that point I thought, we just lost against Port Vale and they want me to win the league. I might get fired. I really was scared at that point. Next game, EFL Cup against Northampton away. Boom! 3-2 win. Second choice team away, but we do win. And Chaplin, who got subbed in 2 minutes later, scores a goal. And in the 120th minute, the last probably attack in the extra time, just before penalties, Chaplin scores a second time and wins us this game. Back to the league games, we now had the home game against Barnsley. And boom, 2 win, clean sheet, Chaplin with another goal. Next up we had Oxford United away. Boom, another goal by Chaplin, 3-1 win, Roberts with 2 goals. The next league game, another away game, Bradford City, one of the better teams, at least I thought so. And they did win against us. Wyke 50 minutes for the end of Firstly did score for them. But we used our second choice team, so it's okay. The last league game of this month at home against Burton Albion first choice team. Chaplin with 2 goals again, winning us this game. And we end off this month with a cup game, Checkertrade Trophy, away against Crawley Town. And it's Love, I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name to be honest. But he did score 2 goals and win us this game. Nice. Now we were through the games, and of course the last thing that happens on the last day of August is the transfer deadline day. And 6 hours before the end I had to make the decision. And it was between 2, Jonathan Lecco and Andre Queen. And I have made the decision, quite an easy decision to be honest, for Jonathan Lecco. They are on the same wage. Jonathan Lecco 200k more expensive, but we do have the money. And I was looking for a right winger. He is a right winger. Queen can play on the right side, but he's a left mid, so that is a point for Lecco. Stats-wise, he was more interesting, and I had Queen in my Aston Villa career mode in FIFA 17. Never used him, but he didn't core himself, so I saw that even though Andre Queen has potential, at least in the Aston Villa career mode I did, I loaned him out and whatever, he didn't really core that fast. He really took a long time to core. So I just thought Lecco, younger, good potential, just is more interesting. So Jonathan Lecco became the new signing. But that's not the last transfer of this transfer window. We got an offer for Doyle, and I told you, remember his value. His value was 3.9. Even though he's so old, he managed to improve his value a lot, by like 250% or so. Or 150%, because it was like 4k and suddenly it's 10,000. So his value has gone up a lot, but okay, for me just more money. And of course the transfer went through, so a bit more money, and of course the wages we can save. That's nice, and that has been it. That has been it with the transfer window. Very good one for us. We got out basically everybody except of, I think, one player, this Love dude who scored 2 goals recently. He was the only player I was not able to sell, but everybody I did sell. Griezmann to United, the biggest deal. Eriksen to Barcelona, but on the other side lost Rakitic, who joined Chelsea. Decent amount of money that has been spent in this transfer window, and we made 3 very big signings. Well, at least I hope so. They have to perform first. They have good rating stuff, but they have to perform first. We go into September as 3rd place, 9 points in 4 games. We have games against Northampton, Bury, Rotherham United, who were 1st place in the start of this month, Gillingham, Walsall and Rochdale. Only league games. 6 games, all league games. So it was important that we perform good in this month. The first game was against Northampton away. We had already an away game against Northampton. It wasn't the cup. We did win. This time though, unfortunately lost. Taylor scored for them. Stupid. Next up we had a home game against Bury, and it was Roberts who has scored just before the end to get us 3 points. But basically in his celebration manages to injure himself. He managed to injure himself. What the fuck? And he's been, thank God, only out for 7 days, so that's nice, but how do you injure yourself? I mean, what the fuck? Well, unfortunately, the timing for the game against Wolverham was not the best. The away game against first place, we had to use our second choice team Wilson, I think was his first game for us. And it was another Taylor dude who has scored, and we did lose again 1-0. Next up we had Gillingham at home, and it became a 5-0 win. Chaplin 2 goals, Roberts with a goal, Lecco I think with his first goal for Portsmouth, Praslak with a really stupid red card by the right, but an amazing 5-0 win. That was probably the highest win so far in the series. Next up we had an away game against Warsaw, one of the weaker teams I think, so I expected to win. In the end, only a draw. Chaplin did take the lead for us with a penalty, so he scored again. Definitely in much better form than last season. Last season he hasn't been scoring a lot. This season he has been scoring a lot so far. Unfortunately, it was only a point. Next up, a home game against Boschke, and what did I tell you? Chaplin scores again, wins us this game. And that's been it with September. We go into October with a training injury, unfortunately a longer one. And unfortunately for a very big player, Clark, our best centre back. 10th place in the start of October with 19 points, a decent attack and the best defense. We have been doing great, and I mean, I told you mid-table place, they want me to win the league. So far I think they maybe had more knowledge than I had. In the month of October, so we had games against Barnsley in the Cup and then 5 league games: Oldham City, Coventry, Peterborough, MK Dons and Fleetwood Town. We're starting off with the Cup game, Checkers Way Trophy at home, second choice team, Wilson makes a game. 2-0 win, Wilson I think with his first goal ever for Portsmouth. And now the 5 league games, we start off against Portsmouth away. Boom, Vieira with his first goal too for Portsmouth, winning us this game. Next up, Coventry City away, should be quite easy for. Well, 2-0 loss, Chaplin injured 1 minute before the end. Great, at least. I mean, he got a sprained ankle. Normally sprained ankle is still a long injury for at least like 4, 5, 6 weeks. For some reason only 9 days. I mean, I take it. Quite surprising, but I don't have a problem with it. Next up, away game against MK Dons. They took an early lead, but it was Chaplin with a goal and Lecco with a late goal to get us at least 1 point away against MK Dons. And last but not least, a home game against Fleetwood Town, and it was Chaplin again with 2 goals, 1 penalty and 1 goal himself. And even though we got quite an early red card, we still managed to win, but a red card and 2 big injuries, not too great, and you will see that. I mean, Smith only for 6 days, so that's perfectly fine, but Roberts, who is playing freaking amazing, I would even say probably the second best player so far in the attack at least after Chaplin, has been scoring a lot of goals, injured for basically 2 months, not great. On the other side, what is really great is our current position, 3rd place, 29 points after 15 games, still the best defense together with 1st place Rotherham, only 4 points behind 2nd, 7 points behind Rotherham of course on 1st, 4 points behind Simftor, so we could with a bet from drop down very easily to a mid-table place. In the month of November we start off with a cup game against North City and then have Bradford, Scunthorpe, Sheffield United, Wycombe and Southend United in the league. We're starting off of course with the cup game at Checkers Trophy away, and was a boom 2-1 win with Wilson scoring again, and it was Lingazi who got subbed in extra time, and 1 minute before the end he scored. So last time it was Chaplin in the 120th, now it's Linganzi in the 190th minute. Lingard. Now we go into the league game, starting off with a Bradford away. I think against Bradford we lost last time, this time away. They score in the first minute and that's basically all that happened. Only the goal in the first minute, so unfortunately another loss. But at least some good news, Matt Clark, our by far best centre back, has been back from injury. He finally returned. Next up we had Scunthorpe at home, and boom, 2-1 win with Stevens and Naismith. So our left back and left mid scored the goals. Next up, Sheffield United away, first choice team though, so we might win it. Well, no draw. Our tech, I mean our defense is great, we're getting a lot of clean sheets, but very often we're also not scoring that much, so our tech could definitely do better. Next up, a home game, it's Wycombe, and again our left back and left mid scoring the goals, another 2-0 win. And then last but not least, an away game with our first choice team against Southend United, very disappointing 2-1 loss. Bennett with an injury too. At least the good news is he has only been injured for 7 days. We end of November still in 3rd place and still just like 5 points behind them. Still we could drop down a lot. The main difference is definitely that the difference to second, I think it was like 4 points, is now 12. Rotherham United and Oxford just freaking amazing, getting 15 wins and 3 draws in 20 games. Both 12 points in front of us. At that point it looked like, okay, the first two are definitely sure. These two are kind of already secured promotion 20 games in. We are only trying to get a playoff spot. Still have the best defense, but our attack is really not doing too great. And let's see, December we had a lot of games. We had 6 league games and 2 cup games. We started off with the 2 cup games, Port Vale and Coventry City, and then the league, Notts County, Plymouth, Swindon Town, Barnsley, Port Vale again, and Sheffield United. Let's start off with the 2 cup games. First of all, FA Cup game away against Port Vale. We played against them before the first league game and lost, but this time it's a 3-1 win. Naismith with 2 goals, Chaplin getting subbed in and scoring a penalty. And yeah, we do win this one. Next cup game, this time at home. This time first choice team, Coventry City, 2-0 win, Chaplin again with 2 goals. He has been scoring a lot in the start of the season, then had a big break where he hasn't really scored anything, but now he's back to scoring. And now the league games, first of all at home against Notts County, and yeah, 3-0 win, great stuff. Lecco with another goal, Wilson with I think his second goal for Portsmouth, another clean sheet, and the first time we have actually even scored more than 2 goals. I mean, we are really not scoring too many goals. Another good news, Gary Roberts, who has been playing amazing before his injury, finally back, so hopefully he can help us scoring more goals. Fit straight away for the next game away against Plymouth. It is a draw. Lecco with a late goal saving us a draw. It's not the worst result, to be honest, away against Plymouth. You can live with that. Next up we had a game at home against Swindon Town. This has to be window, even though it's our second choice team, and boom, 4-1 win. Chaplin scored after he got that in, and Wilson with 2 more goals. Wilson is really not too bad in scoring goals, I see. And yeah, next up we had a game away against Barnsley Town, first choice team. Again a draw, again Lecco with a late goal saving us, but kinda disappointing this result, to be honest. We had a game against Port Vale in the league. This should be hopefully another win, and boom, it is another win. Again now left back and left mid, but Baker also scored a goal. Injury only on their side. Another clean sheet, 3 goals, easy win. And then last but not least, we end off this episode with the game in the 31st of December. At home against Sheffield United. Another 3-0 win, Chaplin scored again. We got quite an early red card, but we still easily did it. Another clean sheet and finally a few more goals. And this is it, guys, the league table after 26 games in the end of this episode, after everything and including December. If you care about the bottom 4 or 5 teams, just stop the video and look at them. But you can see we're on 3rd place, and even though we're still in the same position, a lot has changed. First of all, we still have the best defense, but what has changed? We suddenly have scored a lot of goals and now have the second best attack, just 2 goals behind Rotherham, who have the best attack. Second thing, we have the best goal difference. Another big difference, we have always been 3rd place, but only just like 4 or 5 points away from like 7th to 10th place. So I always said 1 bad month and we are dropping down to mid-10th place. Now we are 11 points in front of 7th and 13 points in front of all the behind them, so all the material places. So the distance to a non-playoff spot is suddenly really big. On the other side, we were 12 points away from the first 2. But Oxford United only got this month 1 win, 2 draws and 2 losses, I think. No wait, it was 1 win, 3 draws and 2 losses. So in 6 games, they only got 6 out of 18 points. We on the other side got 14 actually out of 18 points. And therefore out of 12 points distance to second, now it's only 4. So they seemed safe, but they've done really bad. One of them also haven't been too great, because they also got 11 out of 18 points, not the greatest form. So now we are only 9 points behind Rotherham with the better goal times again, and only 4 points in front of Oxford. So I would even say we probably even finish as the favorites currently for second place. 20 games to go. Very good, 7 points in front of 4th, 11 points off a non-playoff spot, only 4 points away from 2nd, and the best goal difference. That's great. And now guys, before we go into the squad report, let's talk about transfers. Transfer budget only at 177k, really low. Not enough to make any kind of interesting signing, but our wage budget isn't too low with 11k per week, and we can of course put more in that. So the only thing I'm really looking for currently is exactly this. Players in the age of 23 to 28, not too old, but they have to be 23 that you can offer them a pre-contract with an expiring contract. So only pre-contract signings. And I have a lot of players on my shortlist, and I have been looking through, and there are 2 players who actually have an expiring contract, and I can sign them on a pre-contract or offer them one. First of all, Khan Ayhan. A former Schalke player, now for Düsseldorf, very good rated. We do need another center back. His wage is quite high, but we can probably still offer him the money, especially because we also want to sell somebody. So I think it should be possible, but would be our whole budget. But he's worth a lot and would be probably a good signing, so that's an option. You can tell me if you want so. If you want to, the other one of course is the CDM. I don't even want to try to pronounce his name. Not the most important player, we don't really need a CDM, so I'm not sure. But Kana Ayhan, maybe. And all that, gentlemen, last but not least, the squad report. Of course, we're starting off with the stats. The most important stats here are, first of all, Felix Passlack, best goal scorer last season, has been scoring, I think, like 70 goals in the league. And he has been starting off just like that again in the preseason tournament, scoring 4 goals in 5 games. But then he completely stopped doing anything. So in total, he has then played 21 games, 17 in the league and 4 in the cup games, in the 3 cups. And in these 21 games, he has scored 0 and assisted 0. So he has completely stopped scoring. Except for this, you can see, a few things here and there. Chaplin is the other important thing. He has been doing a lot better than last season. 26 games, 13 goals, 6 assists in the league. Scoring every second game, getting assist every 4th game. I think he already has more goals and assists than last season, where he has played, at the end of last season, where he has played, of course, more than 26 games. So he's much better form. And if you add the cup games, in total he has played 30 games in the league and the cup, and has scored a very good amount of 18 goals and 6 assists. So 6 assists and 18 goals in 30 games. That's great. Except of this, of course, stats wise, there's one more maybe interesting thing, and that is Wilson. You probably already saw it. He has been starting playing a lot, of course, because I was not able to loan him out. He's still on this, but he has been scoring a lot in the league. 7 games, 3 goals and 1 assist. Really not bad for a center mid. In the cup, in the Checkerday Trophy, he has played 3 games, 2 goals and 1 assist. He has also played in the FA Cup game, so he has played 11 games in this season, 5 goals and 2 assists, 7 score points in 11 games. He has not the greatest stats, but he is playing good, and if he keeps playing like this, he might actually be a very good player for us. But I still try to loan him out just to improve his potential, especially. And if you look at the growth, not too many interesting things. Most players haven't been going up that much, except for players I trained. I just want to say thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, it would help me out quite a lot if you could smash the like button. If you want to me to change anything, then just tell me in the comments. Just tell me whatever you think, basically your opinion, so I can make these videos even better for you. This first half of the season was great. Venture rating always kind of low, but I thought we would get a material place. Right now we are even fighting for second, I would say. Currently it really looks like one of them is gonna get first, and we are fighting against Oxford for second, who is getting directly qualified, who has to go in the playoffs. Only 20 games to go. Of course, good form, he could maybe even win the league. Bad form, and we could try to even just stay in the playoff spots. We'll see. You have 1 week to tell me whatever you feel like I should do. Change the team, change the tactics, change the players, sign somebody, spend the money a different way, keep the money. The last thing I want to do is, right now on the top right, guys, I want to ask you, what do you think we can do in this season? The first option is going to be win the league. The second option is going to be second, which would be, of course, direct direct promotion into the championship. Third option would be the playoffs, and we do successfully go through the playoffs and get promoted. The fourth option is going to be playoffs, but unfortunately we are going to lose in some point and not getting promoted. And the fifth option is, of course, in the best case 7th place, or like we are not going into even the playoffs. These 5 options would be very interesting for me to see what you think we can achieve in this season, what we are going to achieve. Except of this, guys, have an amazing day. I will see you in the next few days with a lot of Aalborg. In case you haven't seen it yet, I've made a decision, my ACLK mode. Because of it, there won't be an ACLK mode video probably in the next few days. So I think maybe you will see 4 or 5 Aalborg PK gamers in a row. Let's say in 7 days, so next Sunday there's the next PORTSMOUTH, next Saturday of course therefore no video. Then maybe you see Monday to Friday, you can now see maybe 5 Aalborg PK modes. So there's gonna be quite a lot of Aalborg PK in the next 2 days, and because it's the main series for you guys, I think you can really look forward to that. And yeah, except of this, guys, have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow with Aalborg. Hope you enjoyed this. Next episode out in a week. Bye, guys.